Welcome team to this 30-minute full body foam rolling routine. This is best suited for your rest days or separate from any other training. You'll need a regular foam roller and ideally a massage ball or a tennis ball. We'll start off with your thoracic spine, so lay down on the roller on your mid to upper back. Cross your arms in front or behind your back to support your head. Now, take a deep breath and relax into the position before you slowly move up or down on the roller. Just a heads up, you want to avoid rolling your lower back as there's no structural support here to distribute the pressure evenly from the vertebrae. Two more things you want to keep in mind when foam rolling. One, you want to slow down your movement and not pace back and forth on the roller, because the ultimate goal here is to help the tissue release tension, and you'll get that mainly through relaxation. And two, in foam rolling you want to be in slight discomfort but never in acute pain, so make sure you listen to your body as you follow along. Let's stay in that exact same position with our hands behind our head, but now we'll introduce a cat-cow and also a 45-degree rotation. On your next inhale, open up through the chest, bring your shoulder blades together and your elbows back and gaze up into your cow. Reverse as you exhale, so tuck your chin and round your upper back, push your shoulder blades away from each other. All we're adding here is a T-spine rotation to either side, so turn over to your left side, gaze follows, come back onto the roller and then turn to your right side as your gaze follows. Once you've completed one full rep, you can change your position on the roller, so move either up or down a little bit depending where you feel like you need it. Breathe in, arch up and lead with your chest into your cow before slowly exhaling, tuck your chin, round your upper back into your cat position. Rotate over to your left side, gaze follows. Come back onto the roller and then rotate to your right side as your gaze follows. To target the lats, the biggest muscle group on your back, you want to lay on your side and place the roller below the armpit on the side of the ribs, which is roughly at about in line with your chest. As before, move slower than you think you should, and you're gently gonna roll down rib set by rib set from the starting position towards the bottom of the rib cage. And there's two options really to do here. If you're feeling a particularly tight spot, you can sweep your bottom arm towards the roller on the floor and then back up. The other option is to pause at any one rib set and angle your chest towards the floor. So turning inwards to the roller and then slowly back up or outwards to the ceiling. Let's switch sides. Same thing here, place the roller roughly on chest height, just outside the armpit. Feel free to play around with your leg position as well to find a comfortable spot. From here, choose any of the two options again, either pausing on a tight spot to move your arm down and then back up, or turning towards the roller, angling your chest down before turning back up, chest towards the ceiling. And then keep moving rib set by rib set. You can also combine these two if you like. Make sure you keep some of your attention on your breath as you work your way down the lats, deep inhales and then long continuous exhales. Moving on to the back of your shoulder and external parts of the rotator cuff. Place your roller or massage ball on the back of the armpit with your chest angled towards the ceiling. This is a much smaller area of tissue, so we won't need to move around a lot or as much as we did previously. Instead, we'll angle the chest up and down like we did before, so moving laterally on the same spot. If you're using a massage ball and you feel like this is too much pressure, you can always swap back to the foam roller, as I should have done. However, it is a little more difficult to angle the foam roller correctly to target the area that we want to target. Quick reminder to pay attention to your breathing. For the opposite arm, again, lay down on the roller or massage ball with the back of the armpit and your chest slightly angled up. As we aren't moving around as much with this one, take this time to focus on your breath instead. Deep inhales followed by slightly longer exhales will help you to calm down your nervous system and in turn take some of the tension off the muscle tissue. This will allow us ultimately to get deeper into the tissue. Now that we've spent some time rolling out our backside, we'll switch it around to the front, starting off with the shoulder. I placed the roller at a 45-degree angle in between the area of my front shoulder and my chest. Additionally, try bending the opposite side leg, so the one facing away from the roller, to get deeper into the area. This will also make it easier to move your arm around because similar to before, there is not a huge area to cover here. Make sure you spend some time towards the chest as well. We're aiming mainly for below the shoulder where the chest inserts into the humerus, so your arm. But feel free to go deeper into the muscle if that's comfortable, or at around the origin near the clavicula if you're using a massage ball. Slowly get ready to switch sides. For the opposite arm, place the roller again at a 45-degree angle in between your front shoulder and your chest. Bend the opposite leg for support, facing away from the roller. Once you've gotten comfortable, you can move the working arm in a half circle as you breathe, or you can rest on a certain spot if you feel like you need to. Just remember, you don't want this to be super painful, rather a little bit of an unpleasant feeling. Once you spend some time on the front shoulder, move down and towards your midline to target your chest. More specifically, where it inserts into the upper arm. Relieving tightness around the chest and lats can actually help you with overhead mobility as well, whether it be due to foam rolling, stretching, and/or certain mobility drills. To target the biceps next, you can actually stay in the exact same position and just move the roller further down on the inside of your arm. And there's also going to be a side switch in the middle of this interval. You can choose for yourself here whether you want to start at the top, bottom, or the middle of the muscle and then work your way around as you please. Just a heads up, this routine is going to cover the biceps and forearms as they're usually tighter due to their positions in everyday life compared to, for example, the triceps that stays in a more relaxed position and doesn't get as tight normally. Let's switch sides and place the foam roller on the biceps of your opposite arm. As there's no set structure here, you can place your focus on your breath as you explore for the remainder of this interval. We'll divide the forearms into extensors and flexors, so grab a massage ball or tennis ball if possible, and to target the extensors, you want to turn your working arm around, palm facing up, and then place the massage ball on the floor towards the elbow. Once you're here, gently apply pressure with the other arm, and then either rest in this position or slowly move the ball around. I also put in a little graphic because these muscles basically help you extend the wrist, so back of the hand towards the arm, but they also move the fingers. Their muscle bellies sit towards the elbow on the dorsal side, so the outer part of the forearm. Slowly get ready to switch arms. Palm facing up, massage ball on the floor towards the elbow. Let's switch it around. There's two options. The one I'm showing here is the ball down on the floor and then your palm facing down on the floor as well. The other option is to put your arm on the floor and then the ball on top of your arm. In terms of movement, we'll do as before, so we gently apply pressure on top of the ball and we move around as it feels comfortable. I inserted another graphic, so the forearm flexors have multiple functions, including to flex the wrist, so think your palm towards the forearm, and the movement of the forearm in general, hand and fingers as well. Let's switch sides. Ball on the floor, your other arm on top of the ball, palm facing down. Another way to execute this with a little bit more ease would be on a table or on a wall. Good work, team. We're all done with the upper body, and for the second part of this routine, we'll focus on all things lower body, starting with the glutes. I personally like to use the massage ball to create that little bit more pressure, and I sit down with my legs bent for more control. You could also cross the opposite leg over into a glute stretch for more pressure, and just a heads up, we're targeting one side of the glute for now. Slow it down and rest on points of discomfort if you desire. You can either go up and down on the roller or massage ball, or you can venture out laterally as well to target different subgroups of the glutes, like the glute medius. If you feel like you're more sensitive in that area, you could also stand up on a wall instead. Let's switch it over to the opposite glute. Same thing here. Sit down on your roller or massage ball as you please, and then slowly work your way up or down and or laterally. Use this interval to consciously focus on your breath. So deep inhales into the area and then long continuous exhales. The muscle we're working on next is called the TFL. It's also known as the pocket muscle due to its location on the body. I inserted a little graphic on the top left. The easiest way to find your TFL is to find your iliac bone first. So that's the one in front on the hip that sticks out. And from here you can run your fingers down and then to the side of the quad. Once you got it, place your ball here and then gently lay it down or get yourself onto a wall. This is another one of those smaller muscles, so we'll just stay here with minimal movement. But if you find that this is too much pressure, feel free to use your arms and your other leg to take some of the weight off. Interestingly, rolling out your TFL and your glutes can alleviate some of the tightness around the IT band and knee that many runners or other athletes experience. Both of these muscle groups insert into the IT band, so that iliotibial tract which runs down the side of your leg. Swap it over to the opposite side of your body, working again on the TFL. Find your iliac bone, so the bit of the hip that sticks out, and from there you can find the TFL by running down your fingers to the side of your quad. Once I find the spot, I place the ball onto the area and then lay down and bend my opposite leg for some additional support. I know this one can be really uncomfortable, but just make sure you keep on breathing into the area in order to activate your parasympathetic nervous system and help release some of the tension in the tissue. We're working our way down to our quads. I switch back to a foam roller for a little bit less pressure. Facing the mat, place one leg on the roller and then lower down onto the floor, onto your elbows, and support yourself with the opposite knee. Feel free to go up and down the quad in a little bit of a broader stroke. Personally, I find it easier to focus on the area close to the knee first and then spend some time there before moving on to the upper part of the quads towards the hip. Another little tip is to angle your leg in and out to target the inner or outer part of the muscle group too. You could even bring it all the way into the adductors, so the muscles on the inside of your leg, as we aren't targeting these separately. Swap it over to the other leg, place it on the roller, lower down to the floor onto your elbows and support yourself with the opposite knee bent. Start off either towards the knee or towards the hip and then work your way to either side in a little bit broader strokes. Here's your reminder to angle your leg in and or out to target all of the muscle group. If you want to, swap it over to the inside of the leg to target your adductors as well. Hamstrings are up next, so sit down on your mat with your legs extended, support yourself and guide the movement with your arms. To create more pressure, you can also cross that second leg over. On the roller or the massage ball, you can go back and forth slowly in big strokes or find tight spots to rest on. Similar to the quads, I prefer to start over closer to the knee and then work my way towards the hips. I know this is a bigger area of tissue, but I don't want to see you pace back and forth on the roller like a crazy person, so if you need to, take your time, pause the video and work it all the way through. Change sides for me here, please, and sit down on the roller with the opposite leg. Bend the non-working leg to help you move around with a little bit more ease and also distribute the pressure that's coming through the wrists as well. Start either closer to the knee or closer to the hip joint and then work your way around in broader strokes. Grant yourself some deep breaths to relax further into any given position. Next, we'll work the outside of your shin, your tibialis anterior, which is responsible for pulling your toes up towards your shin during walking and running. There's a graphic for you on screen, but you want to aim slightly below the knee on the outer side of the leg. Turn towards the mat, support yourself with your arms and put the working leg on top of the roller at an angle so that your toes are slightly angled in towards your midline. We'll keep it slow and steady here as this is not a big muscle. However, this is one of those that can frequently contribute to running niggles or injuries. Personally, I like to focus on this one, my calf and plantar fascia, if I feel things like shin splints coming on. That being said, you should also strengthen these separately. Switch it over to the other side, turn towards the mat, put the working leg on the roller at an angle so that you target the outside of your lower limb, feet angled inwards. I keep my non-working leg bent with the foot planted on the floor for a little bit of extra stability. If you're resting on a point of pressure, you can also move around your foot, so pointing your toes to relax the muscle and then pulling them up for contraction. We'll continue on the lower leg with our calves. So sit down on your mat, place the roller underneath your lower leg and use your arms to support yourself. Keep the non-working leg bent to help you guide the movement. If you think you could take on more intensity, you can also cross the non-working leg over. Just keep in mind, we're shooting for discomfort, not pain. I started working closer to my ankle and now I'm slowly moving my way up towards the knee joint. If you've done some slow repetitions back and forth, you can explore a little bit further and angle your leg in towards your midline to target the inner calf. Swap sides for me here, put the roller underneath the working leg and then either plant the non-working leg on the floor or cross it over for more intensity. The goal with foam rolling is really to help a stiff or tight muscle relax, so make sure you're not intentionally contracting the muscle. And we can also use our breath to calm down our nervous system, so taking long, deep breaths throughout this whole routine is essential. If you spend some time going back and forth, angle your leg in to target the inner part of the calf muscle. Yo team, we're almost done. Grab a massage ball. We'll work on the sole of the foot or the plantar fascia. You can either do this seated or standing, applying as much pressure as feels good. One way to go about this is to start at the top of the foot and then slowly work your way from your small toes to your big toe, from your midfoot to your inner, then to your outer edge towards your heel. Or you could simply do as I did and just explore, moving in ways that feel good and stop occasionally to work into areas that seem that little bit more stiff. No matter the approach, you want to slow it down and not pace back and forth. This is our very last interval, so switch it around to the other foot. You can choose for yourself if you want to explore freely or you want to go with the more structured approach, starting at the top of the foot, working from your small toes to your big toe, to your midfoot, from your inner to your outer edge towards the heel. If you've been on your feet all day or you've just went for a run, this is a great exercise to implement. It just feels amazing. Well done, team. Thank you so much for joining. Here's a little heads up. There's a non-talking version of this exact routine linked below. And until next time, let's own every rep.